So here's a question for you. What if you had to make $100 in just 1 hour? Sounds tough, but what if the rules were even harder? You have to start from absolute zero. No name, no contacts, no money. The only tool you've got? ChatGPT? Kinda sounds impossible, right? Well, one millionaire decided to put that exact idea to the ultimate test, and we're gonna break down exactly what happened.
And we're not talking about just anyone. This is Dan Martell, and he put his pride and his car on the line. The stakes were absolutely insane. If he failed to make that $100, he'd have to trade his beautiful $500,000 Ferrari for his employee's clunker for a whole day. Talk about pressure, huh? All right, so let's get into it. With the clock officially ticking and a whole lot on the line, the $100 AI challenge began. The goal seemed simple, but as you'll see, the path to get there was anything but.
Now, this wasn't just some casual experiment. The rules were super strict, and they're what made this a true test of the AI. First off, he had to be a complete ghost. No using his famous name, his huge audience, or his personal network. Second, absolutely no outside help. And maybe the biggest rule of all, ChatGPT had to be the brain behind the whole operation. Every single decision had to come from the AI.
So, with those rules in place, Dan turned to his AI partner and asked, "Okay, what's the plan?" The first idea it came up with was a classic sales tactic. Let's see how that played out.
ChatGPT's plan was actually pretty smart, very laser-focused. It's said to target local real estate agents. Why them? Well, their phone numbers are public, and they're usually the ones who actually make decisions, so you can get right to the source. The product to sell? A quick, AI-powered video service to make their property listings really pop online. I mean, on paper, that sounds like a solid plan.
But remember that anonymity rule? Dan couldn't be Dan Martell, so he had ChatGPT create a sales persona for him. And you're gonna love this, it came up with Jet Mercer, built for speed, paid by results. I mean, seriously. So armed with this brand new name and an AI-generated script, our man Jet Mercer started hitting the phones. And it was an instant disaster, a complete failure. The cold calls just crashed and burned. This quote from one of the agents he called, Kevin, pretty much says it all. The strategy was just too slow, people were annoyed, and that clock was ticking down fast. So with the first strategy totally dead on arrival, it was time for a hard pivot. But this is where things get really interesting, because solving that one problem ended up creating another one that was way, way bigger. Just to give you a sense of the pressure cooker he was in, with 48 minutes left on the clock, the cold calls are a total bust. He's got nothing. At the 30-minute mark, he switches things up and pivots to text messages. But then, with only 10 minutes to go, the very technology he's supposed to be selling starts to fall apart. So Dan quickly realized phone calls were a dead end. The agents could be busy, at an open house, anywhere. But a text message? You can answer that anytime. So that was the pivot. Switch to mass texting real estate agents, hoping to get a much faster response. And believe it or not, it worked. He actually got an interested response, a glimmer of hope, right? But this created a brand new hurdle. The potential client wanted proof. He needed to see a sample video before he'd even think about paying.
And this is where the entire challenge just completely flipped on its head. The problem was no longer about sales strategy. It became a question of whether the AI tools could even deliver on the promise he was trying to sell.
So the goal was simple. Feed a property listing into an AI tool and get a slick, professional video out the other side. That was the dream. The reality? Oh, it was a total nightmare. The AI tools were just terrible. They used generic stock footage instead of the actual pictures of the house. One of them even misspelled vaulted ceilings. Come on. The videos were completely unusable. You can just feel the frustration here. With only minutes left on the clock, he has a willing buyer, but the AI product he's trying to sell is a complete dud. He tried 3 different AI tools, and every single one of them failed to deliver a usable demo. And just like that, time's up. The 60 minutes were over. The final score, a big fat 0. The challenge was an undeniable failure, and the Ferrari was as good as gone for the day. But hold on, the story doesn't end there. Because sometimes, the most valuable insights don't come from winning, they come from failing, and failing fast. And this is where we get to the real takeaway of the whole experiment. So you might be thinking, wow, what a total waste of an hour. He lost the bet, didn't make a dime, and had to drive a clunker. Was it really all for nothing? Absolutely not.
You see, the real prize here wasn't the $100, it was the data he gathered by failing. First, he discovered a massive gap in the market. The fact that 3 different AI tools couldn't do this one simple task proved there's a huge need for a tool that actually works. Second, he validated that his text message strategy was a winner. It generated a real lead. And most importantly, he learned that 1 hour of intense, real-world testing can teach you way more than weeks of traditional market research.
In the end, this quote from Dan himself sums it up perfectly. He may not have won the money, but by running into every single roadblock, from sales objections to failing tech, he stress-tested an entire business idea from start to finish. He didn't make $100, but he gained invaluable knowledge. So, what do you think? Can AI really make you money in an hour? Well, maybe not today, but this whole experiment actually revealed a path to a much bigger prize. And that's what's so fascinating. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more explainers just like this one. Thanks for watching.
By Emma Technocom.